Daniel Reyes had only lived on Maple Crest Lane for 3 short months. He moved there after 2 tours overseas left him with a permanent limp and quiet nightmares. The wheelchair ramp he built was simple, sturdy and necessary for his daily survival. That morning the doorbell rang sharply, jolting him from a rare peaceful moment. Standing there was Linda Voss, the HOA president, clutching a thick folder of papers. Her smile was tight, practiced disdain for him. She announced that his ramp violated the community's strict aesthetic guidelines for driveways. Daniel explained calmly that the ramp was medically required under federal accessibility law. Linda waved her hand dismissively, insisting rules were rules regardless of his circumstances. 2 days later, Linda claimed she twisted her ankle. She insisted the uneven pavement near his ramp had caused her sudden painful fall. Daniel watched in stunned silence as she limped dramatically toward her parked car. His neighbor Carla rushed outside, sensing something deeply wrong with the entire scene. Carla had witnessed Linda harass 3 other families since moving into the neighborhood. She quietly began recording the moment, sensing this would matter very soon. Within a week, they're announcing an official personal injury lawsuit. Linda claimed his negligence caused her injury, demanding thousands in damages and pain. Daniel's hands trembled as he reread the absurd accusation sitting heavy on paper. He had survived combat. Yet this paperwork somehow felt strangely more frightening today. Carla appeared at his door holding her phone with crucial recorded evidence inside. She explained she had filmed the entire fake fall from her kitchen window. Daniel felt a flicker of hope ignite beneath the heavy weight of dread. He remembered the HOA's own bylaws explicitly protected disability accommodations under federal guidelines. That night he spread documents across his table, determined to fight back hard. His military discipline kicked in, transforming fear into focused, methodical determination instead. He called a local attorney specializing in disability rights and HOA disputes. The attorney listened carefully, turned to certainty. She told him this case had real, winnable potential if handled correctly. Daniel exhaled slowly, feeling something solid form beneath his exhausted, uncertain shoulders again. Outside, ramp, a quiet symbol of resilience. He stared at the lawsuit notice, vowing this fight was far from over. Linda bragged to other board members about teaching newcomers proper community respect. She had no idea Carla's video already captured her faking the entire fall. The community group chat buzzed quietly with whispers questioning Linda's harsh new tactics. Several neighbors privately admitted feeling intimidated by her aggressive enforcement of petty rules. Daniel realized he wasn't just fighting for himself but for every silenced family. He thought of the others Linda had targeted before settling on him specifically. His resolve hardened like steel forged under unbearable, relentless battlefield pressure before. Maya promised to file a swift response refuting every fraudulent claim Linda made. She also mentioned filing a formal HOA discrimination complaint regarding his ramp. Daniel nodded. A small breath of cautious, fragile hope. The fight ahead would test him. But he refused to surrender this ground. Weeks passed as Maya gathered evidence, building a case stronger than Linda expected. Carla's video proved Linda deliberately staged her fall near the wheelchair ramp area. A medical report confirmed Linda's injury predated the incident by several entire weeks. Daniel learned Linda had filed similar complaints against two previous neighborhood families before. One family had moved away after relentless harassment over fence height. Another resident faced fines for a small garden flag. Daniel realized this pattern revealed deliberate targeting disguised as community rule enforcement. He began collecting witness statements from neighbors willing to finally speak honestly. Carla organized a small meeting, inviting frustrated homeowners tired of Linda's constant intimidation. 5 families showed up, each sharing stories of unfair fines and selective enforcement. Daniel listened carefully, realizing his case could expose something much larger happening here. Maya filed a countersuit alleging fraud, harassment, liability protections. Linda received the countersuit notice and immediately stormed into an emergency board meeting. She demanded the board support her completely against what she called dangerous accusations. 2 board members exchanged uncertain glances, clearly uncomfortable with her aggressive, demanding tone. Meanwhile, opposition testimony every night before falling asleep exhausted. He rehearsed staying calm, factual, and frustration beneath everything. Maya reminded him that emotional outbursts could weaken their otherwise solid legal position. Daniel respected her advice, channeling military composure into every difficult preparation session. Carla continued gathering testimonies, quietly becoming the neighborhood's unexpected source of courage. She admitted she once feared Linda enough to stay completely silent before. Watching Daniel fight back gave her the strength to finally speak up loudly. The lawsuit hearing date arrived faster than Daniel felt entirely emotionally prepared for. He stood outside the courthouse, gripping his cane. Linda arrived wearing an exaggerated limp, leaning heavily on crutches for dramatic effect. Daniel noticed reporters from a local news outlet waiting near the courthouse steps. Apparently, finally reached beyond their small quiet neighborhood. Inside the courtroom, tension hung thick as both parties prepared their opening statements. Linda's attorney argued negligence, claiming Daniel's ramp violated basic community safety standards. Maya calmly presented Carla's video, showing Linda's fall was completely staged beforehand. The judge's expression shifted noticeably as the footage played across the courtroom screen. Linda's composure cracked slightly, her confident smile faltering under mounting visible pressure. Maya then introduced medical records proving Linda's injury existed weeks before the incident. Gasps rippled quietly through the courtroom as the fraudulent timeline became completely clear. Daniel sat motionless, watching years of frustration finally meet long overdue accountability today. The judge called for a brief recess, allowing both sides time to regroup. Outside the courtroom, Carla squeezed Daniel's shoulder, whispering that truth was finally winning. Daniel nodded, and fragile hope settled quietly within him. He thought about every family Linda had silenced through fear and selective punishment. This moment represented something far greater than just his personal legal victory today. As recess ended, Daniel walked back inside knowing the verdict would change everything. The judge returned, her expression sharp, focused. This case. She addressed the courtroom, stating the evidence overwhelmingly contradicted Linda's original injury claims. The staged fall, confirmed by video, Exposed clear intent to deceive the court. Medical records proving prior injury further dismantled any remaining credibility in her lawsuit. The judge dismissed Linda's case entirely, calling it a blatant abuse of process. Gasps and quiet applause spread through the courtroom as the ruling was announced. Linda's face drained of color, her crutches suddenly feeling heavier than ever before. The judge then addressed Daniel's countersuit, reviewing evidence of harassment and discrimination carefully. She ruled in Daniel's favor, citing clear violations of federal disability accommodation laws. Linda was ordered to pay damages covering Daniel's legal fees and emotional distress. Additionally, HOA investigation into Linda's pattern of harassment. Within days, to remove Linda from her position. Neighbors who once stayed silent now openly thanked Daniel for his unwavering courage. The Patels reached out expressing relief and quiet validation. Sam hugged Daniel tightly, tears glistening in his tired eyes. Carla organized a small neighborhood gathering celebrating accountability and long overdue community healing. Daniel stood before his neighbors, finally feeling truly accepted in his new home. He spoke briefly about resilience, reminding everyone that silence only empowers cruel bullies. Linda faced public embarrassment as local news covered her fraudulent lawsuit attempt. Her real estate business suffered as former clients distanced themselves from the scandal. She eventually moved away quietly, her reputation permanently tarnished by her own actions. Daniel's wheelchair ramp remained standing proudly, now a symbol of hard-fought justice. Maya visited him weeks later, smiling as she shared news of similar pending cases. Several other HOA boards nationwide began revising policies after hearing Daniel's powerful story. Daniel realized his personal fight had sparked meaningful change far beyond his own neighborhood. Carla often stopped by, grateful their friendship formed through such painful shared adversity. Sam regularly joined them, proudly displaying his garden flag without fear or hesitation now. The neighborhood slowly transformed into a place built on respect rather than control. Daniel sometimes stood on his porch, reflecting quietly on everything he had endured. He thought about courage, patience, and the quiet power of standing firm together. His ramp now welcomed every visitor with genuine warmth. Children played freely nearby, unaware of the battle once fought over simple acceptance. Daniel smiled, restored balance to his hard-earned home. The story of his fight became a reminder that abuse of power eventually crumbles. Standing firm against injustice, he proved resilience always outlasts cruelty in the end. His victory whispered a timeless truth that courage rebuilds what fear once destroyed.